Hi guys, Roxiano here, and today we'll be talking about the DAO proposals for Aavegotchi and the development updates that they suggest. It was recently announced in the Discord that if you voted in these proposals, the return on XP you would get for your Aavegotchi is 100 XP and more. These proposals can be made by members of the community as well as the developers themselves. So if somebody has a really good idea that would work with Aavegotchi, others can vote on it. Each person in the Aavegotchi community has voting power calculated by their investments, which include ghost tokens, Aavegotchis, and wearables. We'll take a look to see what people are voting for and how it would affect Aavegotchi as the game before it even releases. Here I am on the website snapshot.org. It can be found here on the Aavegotchi website under Aavegotchi DAO and then snapshot. We'll start with this proposal, which discusses kinship channeling. So originally in the development plan, when Aavegotchis would channel their kinship, it means basically getting Alchemica from above using just an Aavegotchi. It was originally discussed in the plan that the kinship might be burnt. In other words, the kinship would go away, you would spend it on this channeling in exchange for the Alchemica that you receive. Now, I personally find that idea a little bit sad because kinship is basically your friendship with your Aavegotchi, and by spending it, it means that your Aavegotchi doesn't like channeling for you, so its friendship goes down. Plus, it would be annoying to have to pet your Aavegotchi every 12 hours for months and months, only to lose those points that you gain over time from doing so. What is being suggested here is that high kinship Aavegotchis will channel Alchemica at a higher rate depending on their achievement level, meaning that the kinship will not deplete. This is a very good idea in my opinion, so I voted yes. And right here it says that 97.05% voted yes. My takeaway is that people want their Aavegotchis to love them and not hate them when they make them do stuff for us. Moving on to the next proposal we'll go over. The second one related to kinship. This one, it states that with no kinship burn, climbing the kinship leaderboard will be very expensive. Despite the occasional Chad move, we won't see any significant movement. Right now, if you look at the leaderboards in Aavegotchi leaderboard, there is a section for kinship, highest kinship. As you can see, the highest kinship gotchi that exists right now has 819 kinship. Just to put that in perspective, you earn 2 kinship per day, assuming that you pet your gotchi every day, and it is very easy to forget to do so. I'm going to do the math to see how long you would have to consistently pet your gotchi in order to reach this kinship. So 819 divided by 2, because you pet it twice a day, would come out to 409.5 days that you would have to consistently pet your gotchi every 12 hours on the dot. And unless you can afford a petting service which auto pets your gotchi, or you use some sort of bot to auto pet your gotchi, you will miss some pets. That's pretty guaranteed. 409 days is 13 months. That is over a year. Do you think you can pet your gotchi for over a year every single day, twice a day, every single 12 hours without missing a beat? I miss pets once every like 3 days or so. So let's factor in, if you're like me and you miss pets, it means I would have to add on a plus 30% to the amount of days. 531 days it would take me forgetting some days to reach that sort of kinship level. So basically what this snapshot is suggesting is that instead of having a leaderboard with just the top gotchis getting the payout, it would be more fair to have the most consistently pet gotchis receive the rewards instead. I'm part of the minority here, guys, that voted yes. Okay, so at the bottom of this proposal, there is a link here. If this is implemented, the amount of opportunities to pet your gotchi would be weighed against how the gotchi was actually pet, if the time frame was shifted, if you forgot to pet a few times in general. The gotchi would know based on these windows, but also gotchis who were pet consistently before you bought them would transfer that benefit over to you as the new owner, and it would take a little more work if the previous owner did not consistently pet the gotchi. It gives new people a chance to catch up in the kinship leaderboard by petting consistently, but a negative to that would be that for people who use bots to auto pet would definitely have an advantage in the leaderboard over people who are genuinely trying to remember to pet your gotchi all the time. Plus, if it's not implemented, the longer holders who have held their gotchi for a long time and built up that kinship over time but are not that consistent would miss out on the benefits of being high on the leaderboard. Their base kinship of their gotchi is so high, even if they don't pet consistently. Those are some negative things. Why you would vote no? I think everyone should have a fair shot to the leaderboard. So that is why I voted yes. However, I am part of the 43.69%. 56% are against this proposal. All right, this is an interesting one, guys. This is about a decision to release more information about the Gotchiverse, which would be 3 days from the recording of this video, so people can make educated decisions about their investments. The information that would be released is the utility of the gotchi's eye shape and eye color stat, the exact bonus resources given per kinship point, how the gotchi's HP is calculated, how fast is the skateboard wearable as a way of transportation, furthermore information about other wearables, and the utility for backgrounds and pets. Basically wearables that stand next to you. And it does give a hint here saying that some things like XP, kinship, eye rarity might prove less desirable and more overvalued than initially thought. That kind of gives away some of the effects this release of information would have on the community. I voted yes, but I was only part of 27% who voted so, while 72.49% voted against the release of this crucial information. I feel it's super important for people and newcomers to know what they're getting themselves into. What this says to me is that people would rather keep the economy the way it is so that they have a better return of their investment based on ignorance. I know it's important for the long-term holders to benefit, and that's who's ultimately voting on this. People probably saw this proposal and are probably selling their NFTs for a high price to people who don't know how this stuff is valued yet, afraid of having things that are overvalued. It's all, a matter of what people want to do with their investments and how they want to view what their stuff is worth. I mean, if you have a better reason why people are voting against this, comment below. I really want to see more information about the upcoming game, and I know a lot of you guys do too. So seeing this is just a little bit disappointing. Okay, these two are kind of similar, so I will cover these both at the same time. These are to allocate 1,000 parcels from 2 districts of the Gotchiverse to Pixelcraft Studios, the development company of Aavegotchi. 94% said yes for District 30 to go to Pixelcraft, and 95% said yes for District 27 to go to Pixelcraft Studios, aka Pixelcraft Square. They will be able to make content for everyone in the game to have somewhere to go and something to do in the Gotchiverse created by the developers themselves. And that is super important for gameplay, guys. The reason why these proposals were in the DAO is that the Gotchiverse is entirely community owned. I voted yes on both of these. There is also this proposal asking whether we think Pixelcraft can mint land parcels directly to themselves without a vote from us. Now, since we just voted yes for Pixelcraft to retain 2 entire districts, if they ask nicely, everyone will say yes. So I voted to prefer to retain control. It would only be fair that the investors have a say whether the creators of the game can have more of the assets. Okay, this is another task force proposal. These proposals have been popping up for different things, such as a wearables task force, the bizarre task force, and now the DAO Treasury task force. Alright, then there's this proposal to stake 100,000 ghosts to generate minigame rewards. These minigames on the Aavegotchi site, sometimes there are events where the top players earn a certain amount of XP. With this proposal going live, it would mean that there would be more events with more tangible rewards, which it most likely will because 79% of people voted yes. That staked ghost would generate friends, which could turn into raffle tickets and given away to minigame players who win the events. This could bring a lot of people into Aavegotchi, giving more opportunity to enter raffles or sell their tickets. One of the drawbacks it says is that it could dilute the friends and the tickets by giving them to a lot of people. The price would probably drop. The engagement with Aavegotchi would rise considerably. I think some of the mini games are a little bit unfair to my Gotchi personally, having 7 energy, and a lot of the games are very energy focused. Mini games are hard.
Don't blame me for voting no and being part of the 20%.
Next proposal for revising Alchemica Tokenomics. This was created by Coder Dan, one of the developers. It suggests that there has been a change in the value of the Alchemica itself. He's just basically asking permission to balance out the value of the Alchemica. 99.79% of voters voted yes, including me. This proposal is about replenishing the boosts after the great battles. Each land parcel has a set amount of Alchemica randomized by the chain link VRF. So there's only a certain amount that you can farm each cycle between great battles. Great battles are when liquidators can invade the citadel. I'm not sure how far in the future that will be implemented because the Gotchiverse will come soon before that. But after these great battle events, there will be replenishing of the parcels that have a base amount of Alchemica in them already. I voted yes, as did 79.49%. Okay, so I've seen more than one of these core proposals about adding voting power to realm parcels. Basically, we can choose whether owners of these land parcels have half a ghost per pixel or 1 ghost per pixel, the auction floor amount, or no voting power for the realm parcels. There was one before about this where you can either vote to have half a ghost per pixel or 1 ghost per pixel. Most voters, including me, voted for half of a ghost per pixel of land parcel they own. The next most popular vote was for 1 ghost per 1 pixel, but only 5.63% voted for the auction floor voting power, which would mean 100, 200, and 1300 ghost voting power for humbles, reasonables, and spacious parcels, respectively, based on the size and the auction floor prices. Alright guys, it's time to cover the most controversial proposal of all, and that is boosting boosts. Are you ready for this? Boosting the boosts of the realm parcels in the Gotchiverse would mean to bring 5 times the value of the boost, which is closer to what the market is currently valuing at. Now, if you were there for the realm auctions, the parcels that have the boosts, the FOMO, the KEK, the FUD, the Alpha boosts, people were definitely overpaying for them based on what the rewards are supposed to be. I don't know whether people did research or not, and Gotchiverse boosts are supposed to be temporary as well. If this got passed, would basically balance out the rewards with the expenditures that the owners of these boosted parcels have made. I can see why the developers think it would be fair. 59% of voters voted against it. This proposal would be changing the original plan. The people who paid for these boosted parcels made an investment in these parcels by choice, and a lot of people are against accommodating them. It's not fair to change the system after it was already suggested. That would be the more fair point to make. The defense in this proposal is that a boost at 5x still pales in comparison to the amount present in a single spacious parcel, meaning that, yeah, the spacious parcels are overpowered, but everyone knew that. Everyone knew that it's like a huge amount of Alchemica, and to this day, these parcels are definitely undervalued, especially because no one can use them in the Gotchiverse yet. But once the Gotchiverse goes live, they'll probably be valued at the right price. But that's something that everyone knew, and changing this is definitely a controversial choice as of now. But that brings us to the next related proposal: delay voting for the one we just looked at until after the vote for realm parcels as voting rights. 70%, including myself, because it's only fair that the owners of the realm parcels have a say in the boosts of their own parcels. And I think that a lot of people who have more lands than Aavegotchis and other assets aren't able to make an educated decision quite like the one that other people who hold mostly Aavegotchis are able to make. In fact, I think that a lot of these proposals should have waited. Now that we've gone over all of the proposals for the 100 XP event, one takeaway I have from this whole voting experience is that the community definitely takes its time to do its research. It's nice to see that not all of the proposals are passing. That is a good sign that this is a fair system where the developers don't have end-all be-all opinion. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and let me know your opinions about these proposals. I hope this video was informative for you. Happy voting, happy Alpha. I will see you friends soon in the next video.